Going on, guys? Hope everyone had a good weekend. Isn't spread too hard to trade right now? Yeah. I'm not trading right now. I just do the Sunday market open just to kind of map out for the week. If any members people from the YouTube or my private members want to come on and discuss some weekly ideas, then we can talk about that. But yeah, it's only going to be like an hour long, 45 minutes long. They're going to be too long. It's not necessarily always about taking the entries, if you know what I mean. It's not about actually necessarily looking for a trade. Sometimes it can be. So obviously on GJ, currently waiting to see kind of how I react at this level, but obviously it's market open, so I'm gonna wait and see. But yeah, just kind of planning things out, stuff like that. So yeah, don't worry, I'm not here to take buys right now, but yeah, just kind of mapping out the levels so far. Yeah, spread's fairly high right now. Let me check my spread. Spread's around 2 pips. My spread is around 2 pips. But yeah, I'm not trading right now. There's no trade right now. It's not about that right now. It's not about that. Okay, let's wait for a few more people to join. Looks like EJ gapped up. Ooh, EJ gapped up. Closed back in that range. Yeah, we're going to look at that in a minute. We are going to check out EJ. Look at gold. FTSE. We're going to check out the FTSE. Looks like the FTSE gapped up. Let's talk about GJ. What's going on, Brown Panther? Good to have you on, brother. So yeah, we'll give it like a few more minutes. We'll start at like 10 past. We'll start breaking down some things. If you guys want to send in any charts, any weekly analysis, anything like that, we can take a look. Yeah, like I said, we'll give it a couple more minutes for a few people to join, and then we're gonna make a start there in a minute. What's going on, everybody over there on the YouTube? How long did it take you to pass the beginner stage in Forex personally? I would say that it took me 3 years. 3 years for me to, I would say, go from a beginner to maybe someone a bit more experienced, a little bit more advanced. But I'd say like now, after 4 years, I would say now I'm a lot more experienced. And yeah, so I would say 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears, man. But obviously everyone's different, you know. It can take longer for some. It can take less for others. You know, everyone's got their own path, and that's all. You know, that's the most important thing. But yeah, 4 years. Okay, so I think we got a few people in here. I know, I mean, in Sundays is never a massive audience, but you know, yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing it. So it's not for long anyway. So anyway, let's start off here with the main. In fact, let's while we're just letting GJ do its thing right now, let's actually start with Euro JPY. Let's start with Euro JPY. We're going to start from the monthly time frame. And then we're going to go and head down to the smaller time frame. So just looking at the current monthly candle on Euro JPY, what we've kind of, or I've concluded, is that, you know, this monthly candle, if it does flip bearish, then, you know, we see this happen a lot on smaller time frames, and it's a little bit of like an impulse entry. And if it does break this low, you know, there's a much higher chance for, you know, price to continue down. And then I think we're going to correct this bullish move up if we do that. But at the same time, you know, what we're kind of looking at is the fact that it is respecting this area currently. So right now, as it stands, it is respecting this area as a support. So if this monthly candle does close bullish, then, you know, price made a high, retrace, form support. So there's a higher chance for the next monthly candle to also go bullish, and then, you know, we can retest this high that was created at this resistance area. So that's kind of looking at on the monthly time frame. Looking on the weekly time frame, obviously, is going to give us even more information. So if we just remove everything there for the weekly perspective, and then obviously this is the high that was created on the weekly time frame, and then we kind of made this lower high over here at 124, maybe even 125. So we created a further resistance up at this level. So just straight off the bat, we can kind of see, based off the weekly time frame, price action is in a bearish market structure on the higher time frames. So, you know, we can see we're in a downtrend based off the weekly. That's why maybe the previous weekly candle, it came up to tap into this resistance, generate some liquidity, and it retraced, and it even closed below this resistance over here at 124. So again, we have a support over here on the weekly time frame that, you know, if we break this low, if we break the support, there's a higher chance for price to continue moving down. We have a couple of minor areas over here. Let's just say for the weekly, from a weekly perspective, over the higher time frame period, we have a couple of levels here that, you know, if we start to break down, these are our target areas based off of those higher time frames. So that's kind of what we're looking at so far. Just kind of one thing to note on this previous weekly candle, this wick can get filled, you know, if we start to respect or create some support in this area. So I'm going to talk about that based on the 4 hour and how I'd like to see that happen on the 4 hour. So just going to the daily anyway, looking at the daily time frame. Exactly, this is the area, you know, we've kind of rejected off this whole zone. If we just bring that down a bit, this whole zone has been rejected. So we failed to break this high now 3 times. Doesn't necessarily mean, you know, on the 4th we're not going to break it, but what it does mean is that, you know, unless we can create some support and then come up and break it, aka if we start to just continue down, we see rejections to the upside, then I think this whole move is going to get corrected on Euro JPY on the daily time frame, and then, you know, maybe we're going to come back and retest this area here, because you never really came down to form any support around 122,600. So it's kind of looking at the daily. Now, when we go to the 4 hour, 4 hours is going to give us a lot more information. It's going to be a lot better. So let's just clear everything for the 4 hour perspective, because now we really want to focus in on the most recent price action. So Looking at the 4 hour time frame, we can see price was in a range over here. So we were ranging on the 4 hour. We're still creating this bearish market structure, but overall, price is just ranging. We failed to break this resistance 3 times. We made a lower high, price came down, and then before the weekend, we were breaking below support at 123,800. But then now it does seem like price has already gapped up back in this range. So kind of what I want to see come Monday morning is I want to see price come down, breaking this support, breaking this minus support on the 4 hour time frame, and then we have a clean candle to the left hand side for Euro JPY to correct this big push up. It's obviously to do with that optimism with the vaccine, but essentially this is the area that we can retrace to form some support if we want to continue down. Now, if we start to create support back above 123,850, then I think price is just going to come back up in this range, but essentially it can break the other way. So that's the point at which I'll be looking for this weekly wick fill. Now the weekly wick fill is up over here at 125 140, which is 125 140 right up over here. So for us to retest this high and do the weekly wick fill based on the 4 hour time frame, we clearly need to break above this key level here, 124 450 460. So this area is our area that we need to break for price to come up, and then this is our next area where we can do that weekly wick fill. So that's our key level based on the 4 hour time frame. This is our strong level that we need to break for price to continue up. So as long as we stay below this area, then I think the weekly can create a top wick and then continue moving down. So even if we do range Monday, Tuesday, we come back up in the range, we just adjust the range because this is a new low, and then obviously once we just break out of this whole consolidation, price can then continue in its direction. So that's what I'm kind of looking at right now in terms of the higher time frames. Once we start breaking above our key level 124 500 124 450, at that point we should see some more upside. Now obviously we always want to look at the opposite trade we spoke about. If we start to close back below this support, if we just move this back up, I'd want to see counters closing back below this area 123 800 123 815 for price to continue moving down. So let's just look at that from a 1 hour perspective. So from a 1 hour perspective is this area over here. So yeah, we can see how we rejected this area on the 11th of November, rejected this area on the 10th, again on the 10th, rejected this area on the 12th again. That was around London session, so we clearly didn't have the volume there to break that. And then we also made a lower high on the 13th of November. Price failed to break above this key level of 124 200. So now we're starting to create a bit of market structure within this range, and we're respecting now this lower high point. So kind of what I want to see is I want to see like a lower high within this structure, and then price to then start breaking below key support levels. But right now we don't know that yet. We just have to wait, but this is our key level definitely. So then for some more upside, and then if we look left based on the 1 hour time frame, we have clean candles coming up to this resistance. We have another area over here to the left, but essentially based on the 4 hour, we should come up and fill this range. So yeah, looks like it's trying to create some support back above this level right now, but let's really zoom in over here, and then we're gonna clear everything again. Let me delete this. Okay, so just looking at Euro JPY basically straight off the bat, our key levels here is this area right over here. So for sales, I'd want to see price closing back below 123 800, because then I know at that point we're back below that 4 hour level, we're back below this resistance. I'd also want to see maybe a break of this minor support, because price made a low right over here at 123 680. So if we break this low, then at that point then we look left and we see we have clean candles to left hand side coming down to this liquidity area on the 30-minute time frame. So, sorry, the 1 hour time frame. So we clearly can see, based on the 1 hour, that sells would be really nice. Now, obviously looking at buys, let's go to the 30-minute. So looking at buys, let's say based on the 30-minute time frame, we can see market open, create a resistance at 124, which is fine. But I would just say in general, this zone, we need to respect this area, create some resistance, and then, we can break this support and then continue moving down. So I'd even go further and neaten up this support based off the 30-minute time frame. So yeah, my ideal sales are going to be back below 123.820, and for buys maybe above 124, because then we have clean candles to maybe retest this high, because within this range we can retest key levels and things like that, and then continue down. So we always want to be willing to look at both sides of the play. So that's the point at which you look for buys. I think to be cautious, you may want to look at this area too, because we never really came back to create any resistance at 124, 150. So just to be a little bit more conservative with the target there, that would be the other target for buys. But I mean, right now I don't really see any buys, or there's nothing right now, but I doubt we're going to see an upside. But at the same time, it's the new weekly candle, and it may need to create like a top wick and then, do its thing. Same with the daily, may need to come up, probably generate some liquidity within this zone. So we can see on the daily, if we just go back to the daily time frame real quick, just noticing in on the candles, price made a high, and then, we retraced and we failed to break or even retest this high, and candles just creating these lower high points, bar this one candle which created a higher high, but it broke the low and created a low low. So we can see how these candles are in bearish market structure based on the candles. So yeah, I think we're going to see another daily candle print bearish. Otherwise, we could see this high get retested if support is formed. And then we spoke about on the 4-hour time frame, if price comes back up in that range and establishes support again, so aka that move down was a fake out. So let's go back to the 30-minute, and we're going to leave Euro JPY like that. Let's go back to GJ. GJ's got 9 minutes left for this 30-minute candle to close. 15-minute candle closed above resistance. Next 15-minute candle done like a small retest. So I think it should continue moving up to at least 138.234. Sorry. But yeah, I'm not taking no trades tonight. I was only looking for a potential swing maybe on GJ, but that's something to be discussed later on. Because right now I don't think that's gonna happen yet. Think I'm gonna wait. I'll have to wait until the morning, because it looks like it's gonna push up, daily craze, top wick, and then hopefully, coming on in the morning, we're gonna see a different type of market structure. So yeah.
Hi mate, how you doing?
Yeah, how's it going, Salim?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, my friend. Not too bad.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, have a good weekend.
Yeah, it's been alright. Yeah, it's been relaxing. Not too bad. How's yours been?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Just chilling. Had a little little break from the charts yesterday, so back today.
Yeah, it's always nice to just have like a little rest and just like clear everything off and then just get back to it.
Oh, 100%.
Monday.
100%.
I was listening to your I was listening to your the podcast that you've had.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
That was really good. Honestly.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
I was listening to it like three days ago, and then I didn't finish it because my phone died, the battery, and then I was listening to it on the Saturday yesterday, and I've listened to it like from the start to the finish, and it's you've made really some like strong points. And genuinely, it's what made me think different about trading. There was one video that you've made previously, and that really did make me think different about trading. Like, I don't look at it in a way of like making money anymore. I just want to see mostly to be right on a trade. To have like a good idea of what you paper trade. You paper trade. You just say to yourself, like, I'm expecting, the price to go to this level, and
Mm.
then you just wait for it. You see it it keeps happening and happening, and you're just missing the trade. And that's exactly what's going on at the minute with me. I keep missing trades, and in a way, like I do feel gutted when I don't enter a trade, but then
Mm.
in a way, I'm happy because every single time I'm missing that trade, I'm I'm having a better chance to like increase my confidence to use what I've seen in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
the only thing I've struggled with this the last week with GJ is I don't know if you've noticed that usually when the new 30-minute candle starts, usually let's say it was in a bearish momentum, so usually you have like a wick, the top wick gets created
Mm-hmm.
after like the support, so you get a wick, top wick gets created, and then as it hits, like, as it gets to the previous at the bottom of the previous 30-minute candle, that's when you'd enter the trade.
Okay.
But I haven't really, I didn't feel confident to just like enter a trade. And what I've seen a lot is within the first 5 minutes of the 30-minute candle,
Yeah.
it goes down straight away, and I just worry if the price is going to come back, and then by that time it's too late for me to enter, because I'm thinking is it going to like create a fake out. So
Yeah.
I'm just watching it, and yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, I think if you're not confident enough, you just need to watch it a little bit more. And, like you say, paper trade it, have the idea in your head. So, like, a lot of the times, I don't know, let's say you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's say you wanted to take a sell right on this candle, and then like you said, the candle came up to create its top wick, but at the same time, we don't know whether, this candle came down, then pulled all the way back up. So sometimes, and this is why I say everything's situational, let's say just for this example, that I would enter in on the close of this candle, know what I'm risking, and then I just let it do its thing, knowing that it can create a top wick. But overall, I want to see the candle then pushing in my direction. So, these things just, they come with time, it comes with confidence, it comes with the paper trades. And then what happens after seen it happen a lot with the paper trades, you can then put like a penny lot, 10-cent lot, something small on it, and then obviously you're going to build the confidence via the execution that way.
Yeah.
And then you're going to practice the execution, and then what you're going to do is you're going to build the confidence via the execution. You're also going to maybe see how you miss points to execute, and then you're going to build your confidence that way. You're going to get better that way. So listen, mate, I've been there. Like, I used to miss moves all the time. I would be kidding myself. I would be frustrated, but trust me, like, it's just like anything in life. Like, before you start a business, you'll probably go and see other people doing really well, and you're like, oh, I want that to be me. And I understand, but we all have our own journey, and just trust me, focus on you, focus on what you're doing, and it just literally is a matter of time. That's all it is. It's just a matter of time. And if you can just be persistent, then the clock is your friend, really. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. Obviously, this is why I'm trying to do these live sessions, for you guys in the group as well, because it allows us to kind of all break it down together, right? And then we can, if there's anything you want to ask me while I'm here on the live stream, you get that opportunity.
Yeah, true. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. I just got a couple of questions here to answer, and then we'll have another chat soon.
No worries.
So, what's your average lot size? Do you risk 1 to 2 or more now that you're more experienced? So I think the percentage has always kind of been the same. I think originally when I started, I was risking around 2%. Now I'm kind of back to 2%, but then what I did was I dropped it down to 1% at one point, just so I can build that. I don't know how to say it, but it's like a more of a systematic way. So I just wanted to risk, say, 1% at a time, and then build the confidence that way. But I did originally start out with 2%, dropped it down to 1%, and then in the last few months, it's been back to 2%. But my average lot size right now, at the moment, I'm trading 5 lots. Last month I was trading 3 lots, but this month I bumped it up, and I deposited some more money for me to be able to trade that 2% of that account being 5 lots. So that was kind of always yeah, it's kind of what I was looking at. Looks like GJ's pushing up over here too. So 15-minute candle broke above this area. Next 15 did like a little retest, but yeah, no trade for me tonight. Let's wait on the Japanese Open. Yeah, I think Asian Open is probably gonna have a little bit of volume today. I think there's some news around that time. HFX started doing Asian session. No, I don't do Asian session. I just do the Sunday market open. Because eventually, like as my private group gets bigger and stuff, people will be able to come on here and we can kind of discuss for the week. And so it's kind of more of like a live webinar just for the YouTube and the the private group. But essentially, yeah, I mean, sometimes very rarely there's a nice move on the Sunday. But I mean, I'd only take strong confirmation trades on a Sunday anyway. But yeah, this seems to be pushing up at the moment. GJ. I'm waiting. GJ support to form in the 30-minute or 15 Tokyo Open. Anticipate price fill daily wick. Yeah, it can come up to fill the daily wick. I mean, we'll see at the moment. I think come London session, I'm looking for... Okay, so basically, based off the daily time frame on GJ, what I'm looking for is, I think once we break the low of the previous daily candle, I think we're going to see some more downside. If we look at the way... Okay, I've taken this trade now so many times on a Monday to Friday live stream, where we have a situation where price makes a high, it retraces, we have a strong bearish candle, we reach an area that we broke out of, and we create a support, but the support and the candle that closed was a very weak bullish candle. So now when I always look at that, I'm like, okay, can we create like a little top wick, continue down, break the low of the previous daily candle, and then we should continue down at that point. So that's something I was kind of looking at as maybe like a swing setup. Something I was kind of anticipating over the weekend, but I think I'm just gonna wait for kind of in the morning and then see where we're setting up, because yeah, right now price is probably gonna come up to this area again, this resistance. So if you look on the 4-hour, we need to respect this area again for price to continue down. If we see candles breaking above 138.350 around London session, or is creating a support above this area, then I think some of this move could be corrected, and actually you're right, we could come up and fill this daily wick and maybe even push up a little bit higher. But until we break above this resistance on the 4-hour, then I have a bearish bias coming into tomorrow. But obviously we'll have to wait and see what happens nearer London Open tomorrow. So 30-minute and 15 had no top wick. Same with kind of GJ, we could react to this area here too, this previous zone. So yeah, got a fair amount of people actually for a Sunday, I must say. But yeah, Selim, we were saying, yeah, man, honestly, like, don't worry about missing moves. I mean, it is just a fundamental part of trading. If you can't miss the move, I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying, to anybody going through that same thing. If you can't miss the moves, then you are going to struggle in trading, because if you can miss a move, it is proof to yourself that in a way you can be disciplined, because although you may not have the confidence to execute, in a way that's a good thing, because you accept that you're not ready, whereas a lot of people will jump on that. They're like, oh man, I want to make some money, like I think it's going to go up, they go in. It's not even about the confidence with them, it's about they're focused on making that money, so they make impulsive, irrational decisions. So the fact you're even thinking about the confidence side proves that you're on the right track, to be honest. So
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, don't
see, like, the other thing I've noticed as well, like, I tend to not trade the Asian Open, like the Asian session, the Open in general with JJs, just because like there hardly been any good setup, for like a good trade. Personally, like what I've experienced in the past 3 months, but it's very rarely when he managed to get like let's say 10 pip, trade. And
Yeah.
mostly what usually happens on GG, what I've noticed is it's more likely that it'll do some sort of like a fake out, for the volume, for the open, and it
Yeah.
just comes back down. And I just don't want to be on that fake out candle. I'd rather be on like a strong, you know, trade rather than just being like a fake out, because I don't know how long this fake out is going to last. I don't know if it's just like a wick and then it comes back to resistance, or but I have noticed, like on the Thursday, I don't know if you remember, but on the Asian Open there was a really good move. It was like, I'd say about a 25 pip move with a single candle, and I don't know why that happened. It seemed as if like it was like news related, because usually that doesn't happen in GJ. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you've noticed the open for GJ on that night on the Thursday.
Well, not off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I can take a look back. Was it Thursday? What day was Thursday? Would have been the 11th,
Yeah, let's have a look. Thursday. It would have been the 12th.
12th. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so around.
I think
Okay,
it's
so you saying after? Okay, after open we had this big push, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think that was actually. I don't think that was necessarily fundamental, because this sell move was something that I was waiting for. So it actually happened in the Asian session. So
Yeah,
if we go back a bit, we just look at the daily. So that kind of Asian session push happened when, so we made a high on the 11th of November, and then if we look left, obviously we can see once we were to break that previous daily low from the 11th, we look left and we see, okay, we have clean candles on the daily time frame. But in general, the daily needed to retrace, right? Not necessarily needed to, but it obviously wanted to retrace. So when we go back, what we'll kind of see is the first catalyst to happen was when, during the Asian session, as we see, the 4-hour candles were breaking below the support. So at this point, okay, let's look at the 4-hour time frame. So from 10 o'clock our time, GMT, price was closing below the support. Now we look left and we have a clean 4-hour candle to the left hand side. We also look left and we see, okay, well, this is a support that price can reach. So as we're looking at the Asian session, we're like, okay, well, one or two things are going to happen at this point. So we come to the Asian session, this is our time here, and what we're going to say is, we're going to say, okay, for the Asian session to maybe continue down throughout the night, maybe reach this area, maybe even come down to the support, we need to respect the high of this previous 4-hour candle, because this is the breakout candle. Also, we may need to, retrace to form some resistance and then continue down. So there's a few options there, but the bias is sells because, we've broken the support to the left-hand side. So just bearing that in mind, let's go to the 1-hour time frame. We're obviously going to get some more information over there. And then what you'll see on the 1-hour is, yeah, okay, price is ranging, and then come open, we had this big surge of volume. So let's say you missed this move over here, you would need to wait for some resistance to form for price to continue down. So let's say you go to the 30-minute time frame, then you go to the 30-minute time frame, and you're like, okay, well, we're closing below this support over here, right? So we're closing below this area here on the 30-minute time frame. And actually what we can clearly see we're doing is we are creating a resistance in this area for price to continue down. So either you could have had, okay, let's say you took sales on this candle, this bearish candle, and the next candle closes bullish, you would just manage the trade at that point because the candle closed against you. But then once you had this candle close bearish too, and then obviously the next one closed bearish, closing below this minor support, that was the catalyst to say, okay, at that point, we should see some more downside. And then you had this nice clean candle to ride. And then obviously if we let runners run, then it would just kept on going overnight. And then, eventually maybe you would have got stopped out. But if you had a good entry somewhere up over here, if you can see, just would have been all right. And then your runner would have run real nice into the next day. So you can just kind of see, based on the price action, where we were kind of looking to set up overnight. So when I looked at this, I was like, okay, well, as long as we stay below this zone right over here, this zone, as long as we stay below this resistance now coming into the Asian, price should continue down. Did I expect this amount of move during the Asian session? No. But at the same time, the anticipation was we have to respect this area now for price to continue. So what I was thinking was going to happen, was we're just going to range maybe, between this level, and then come pre-London, we'd have that drop. But actually it happened in the Asian session. So those kind of moves you can't really anticipate in the Asian, but the clues were there. The clues were there, the price action all lined up. So that's why when I take a trade in the Asian session, it's something that's very good. I never, it's something that I've seen happen a lot, or it's a good setup in that sense. But yeah, those sells completely made sense. We created a minor resistance, and then price just continued down. We kept creating another resistance over here, and then you had more sells, and then by that time, volume was starting to die out. We had a pullback because it's London open. We had a pullback, and then we saw that further downside again. So yeah. And then, man, if you had runners from the Asian, wow, this would have just carried on going. Sorry, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, sorry. So like, for an example, yeah. So let's say from that level that he was marking where it was consolidating, and then it made it like a low during the Asian session. Yeah, on that level.
Yeah.
So let's say he was only looking on that particular like time frame, like within the 24 hours or like the 48 hours. So like, would you have looked on the left to see how the traffic was? So like, would you base the your bias based on the left candles, or
Yeah, sort of, because
is it because of that clean move up?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if we had, okay, let's say this wasn't clean and it was something like this where we had a lot of levels, I'd be like, okay, well, probably when we hit, let's say there's a support here, right? As we're coming down, let's just say there's a support here. So what we say is when we hit this level, we could say, okay, at that point we may reject. So we have to measure that range. So let's say we were looking for a sell up over here and we have a support down over here. We measure this range and we say, okay, this range is around 14 pips. What's my risk? My risk is around 7. So a 2-to-1, it could work out. So that's a good range. And then you would just maybe call it a day when it hits target. You take your profits and then you move on to the next session. Maybe leave a runner to run. But usually in the Asian, when price hits the support or resistance, it just consolidates. So these moves where it just keeps dropping during the Asian session is very rare. But if you can and know how to catch it, then obviously that's the best outcome. But part of the decision that price should continue down is, of course, this clean traffic, because without this clean traffic, we wouldn't have the opportunity for price to keep dropping. We'd have many levels to break and things like that. So if we go on the 15-minute, even the 15-minute was clean traffic.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Thank
clean traffic always makes a difference to my trading plan. Like, let's say over here we have clean candle to left hand side coming up to this resistance. So let's just say, for example's sake, I form a support was formed above this level. I'd be like, okay, now I have a good feeling that we should continue up. We have clean candles to the left. We've created a support. We've broken above resistance. We've created support above resistance. Price should continue up. So it's that kind of thing. Price broke support. We look left. We see we have clean candles to the left hand side. So price should continue moving down. So
thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I'll be interested to kind of see where we're at come tomorrow, come in the morning. But
what's the bias at the minute?
So kind of, I'm thinking we're gonna see a bearish week. I mean, in terms of like fundamentals, I mean, Brexit looks like it's kind of all a bit of a shambles right now. I mean, if that's the case, then that would suggest, very weak pound, because we saw, even that negative headline just about a delay with Brexit pushed price down a lot. In fact, a lot of this move was due to that correction. So yeah, I would say I hopefully want to see some more like a bearish market structure, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Not sure yet.
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if you've heard about Boris Johnson having to self-isolate, but I don't know if that would have created any.
I mean, maybe, just possibly, but
I personally think if that like example, if that news came out during like London session or New York session, we would have seen some sort of like a reaction because everyone
yeah,
would react.
yeah, I
But
think
I
there'll
don't
be
know.
a
It's just
reaction. But I think whatever way it kind of reacted, it would be corrected, because it's just like nothing really changes. He's still the prime minister. He's still gonna do his job. It just means he's doing it from behind closed doors. He's not out and about type thing. So yeah, I would agree with that. If it was London session, we may see like some form of sudden spike. But yeah, I would say it's not gonna be like a sustained movement.
yeah. I've seen that you've had a good week on GJ.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty good. Had a couple of like difficult days, but overall ended up being a good week.
Yeah.
So yeah, this week just gonna obviously just try and improve on that and try and be more disciplined, and that's all. That's all I can really do. Oh wow, look at this!
Ooh, what's that?
Whoa, whoa. That
What
can't be
chart's
right.
that?
Hang on a minute, that can't be right. That cannot be right as a gap
UK.
up. That's the FTSE.
Wow.
This is the FTSE. I don't think that's right. Surely.
No.
Let me refresh the chart, because that don't make sense. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now that makes sense. Where's all the... Oh, how strange.
I'll try look it up on my end and see what it does, what it's showing us.
Oh, it did. It did gap up a lot.
Ooh.
Wow. I wonder why. I wonder why. Very strange. Oh no, that was from the 30th of October. I think when... Yeah,
What time frame is that?
I think it's glitching out, because it says this is the 30th of October, and then it's gone from the 30th of October straight to the 12th of November, and then we have
Yeah.
so it's yeah, I don't know what Trading View's doing right now, but it's glitching out.
Wow.
So yeah, it looks like Euro JPY created that support. So if we look at the 4-hour time frame now, I think the sales bias is diminishing so far. But obviously we have to see, how London session plays out. Gold is back at this resistance. So yeah, gold. See, gold is creating some support, but I think we need to kind of break this high, and then I think that's going to be much safer for gold to continue bullish. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Why the FTSE's done that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not really sure. I mean, I was trying to look it up on different time frame just to see if it gets corrected, if it's just like on a certain time frame or.
Yeah, maybe I'll delete it and then re-add it.
think it's sorted now.
I don't think it is. How
On
strange.
what time frame are you on?
4 hour, 1 hour.
Try the daily and see. I think on the daily it looks alright.
Yeah, daily's fine. Daily's completely. Daily looks perfectly fine, but then 4 hour
It's not like.
just goes all wrong.
Yep.
It makes no. Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't know. Just have to see. But I think the FTSE should continue up. Maybe probably not tonight, but tomorrow when GDP
So
is
what is
open.
it like? So what is it like the spread on FTSE?
I can tell you. One sec. I think it's around. Bear with me. Bear with me.
No worries.
Right now, it's around 1.6 points, so it's not too mad. So it's like, if we measure it, that amount, just under
Oh, I
that.
see.
So it's not really a
Oh,
bad.
I see.
It's like, so like, obviously FTSE is different to GJ. It's measured in points. So it would be around, yeah, just over, around about that much of this candle would be spread.
Oh, I see.
So if
Yeah.
you, I don't know if you can see that tiny little.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a lot, but I mean.
Comparing it to like the US 30, is it? Would you say US 30 has got like a larger spread or?
To be honest, I've never actually taken a trade on US 30 or the FTSE yet, so I have never like really looked at the US 30 spread like that. I just kind of saw that on average it's a fairly lower spread, but US 30s, yeah, around 1.4 point, 1.4. So
No, I see. It'd be interesting to see what GJ is going to do, get into that level, the 138, 440.
yeah, I mean, if we break above this area, then that is the 4 hour then creating support above this resistance. So then I think at that point we can correct some of this move down, but I don't understand how fundamentally that would make sense. So I mean, for now, I just want to see where we kind of wake up in the morning, because I don't want to think that, you know, we're going to go bullish just because Asian sessions pushing price up.
Yeah.
But we're definitely coming up. This is a very key level, because if you look at the overall structure, this is like a lower high. So we definitely need to respect this area for price to continue down. So if we don't respect this area, then I would say that, you know, price can continue up. So let's say we do break this resistance. Then I would say that, you know, our target at that point would be around 138.650, because you can see on the 30-minute time frame we have clean candles to left hand side. So I think that would be the first target area there.
Also, like if you look on the 4 hour, there was a support. It's getting to where the support was on the 10th of November.
Oh, you mean over here, this area here?
Oh,
this previous support, you mean?
Are you on the 4?
Yeah. This is the 10th.
Yeah. Oh no. 1 sec. Sorry. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. That's bit.
Yeah, I think if we break above this level, then I mean we have this clean traffic on the 4 hour back to this area where we could you need to come back, like you were saying, to maybe create resistance.
Oh, what I meant is the on the 10th, it's at 2 a.m. There was a support. So you know, before that big candle move that happened when he left.
I think this
is at the bottom where that level is. Let me just try and point it. 1 sec.
That's all right.
Is that one here?
Oh, this area.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, if we see a support back above that support, then, you know, price can continue up.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because it looks like there is a clean candle on the 4 hour coming down and coming up.
Oh yeah,
It might not
definitely.
look the same on a 30 minute. There might be some support and resistance on the way up, but it just looks like if it continues, if it closes above that area, maybe there is a high chance that it could flip. Like the buyers would be bullish rather than bearish.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I think it's probably be a good like teaching point. Just this area that you were talking about. So if we kind of line this up, we can see this was a previous support. So then as price broke down to create this low and it retraced, it created a resistance at this level. So when price creates a resistance, below a support, we always look at it as a higher chance at that point for price to continue down. So exactly what you're saying, if we break back above this level and we create a support, every time price has been here, it's had clean moves over here. We had this clean move over here to the left hand side. So naturally, if we start to create support back above this level, then we should have a clean push coming up to this area too. I mean, excuse the poor drawing, but kind of get the gist of what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of what you were saying, so let's just keep this area in your mind. Keep this zone in your mind. So this is the area on the 4 hour that needs to be respected for price to continue down or broken above for price to continue up. So just keep that area in mind. Let's look at the 1 hour. Now, when you look at the 1 hour, you can then start to map out your smaller time frame zones. So if this was a previous support over here, if we stretch that left, what we're going to find is obviously we have some new information now. This is our new information. So what we want to do is we want to look at the smaller time frames and we want to say, okay, well, I'm keeping in mind that this is a previous support zone, but at the same time, what I need to look at is we have a resistance and a most recent support right over here. So if we break this area, then that's the area where I'm like, okay, well, then we're closing back above this previous zone, and then we're creating some support kind of at this area, which is, at that same level for price to continue up. So it's that kind of way of thinking.
Yep.
I've got a couple of questions here. How about the USD JPY? Looks bearish for me. I removed UJ off my watch list, but if you want to send a chart, I can check that out. Try add UK 100 GDP different feed. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna refresh it in the morning, and then if it's still doing this weird thing, then yeah, I'll probably just change which liquidity provider we look at. And then just stick with that one, but we'll see. I don't want to have to change, to be honest, but yeah, we'll see. Are you planning on making a trade, or are you just doing your analysis right now? Just kind of mapping out for tomorrow right now. I think if you was going to take buys, you missed that move. The buys are over here, but it was I didn't like it. I mean, it's a Sunday, like, why would you risk on a 15-minute time frame? In fact, the buys are over here. 15-minute candle broke above, and then the next one just continued to run. So it would have been a nice trade, but I mean, very weak confirmations for that. So yeah, I'm just gonna see how he's set up tomorrow.
I've also noticed one thing, like on GJ, like I've noticed a certain pattern within the last week. What I've mentioned to you earlier about when there was like a resistance created, and then let's say the candle's moving, like the momentum is bearish. I've noticed that a lot of times there was no wick, like top wick created. It's just like a straight move down, which is like straight away there is no way you'd be able to catch that move, because you would have been waiting, let's say, the first 15 minute, to go by just to wait for like a top wick. So it's just been a constant, like within the first 5 minutes, it just goes bearish.
Yeah.
If it was, if the momentum was bearish, and I've noticed that like within the last week that happened a lot, and it's really interesting to see if this is going to happen again this week, or if it happened again like in the future, if it's just going to happen continuously within like a week time frame. This is one thing I've noticed, because when you miss a trade, like I keep having that vision on when I miss that trade, and like it'll be more easy for you to vision the trade again, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, it does make sense. So you're kind of saying, because you've seen it happen before, you know, you can kind of almost look at for next time
Yeah,
what you'd be
because
looking for.
I've noticed like within the last week, like I've noticed a lot of setup where there wasn't really a top rate created, and it happened within like 5 days. So I'm just wondering if that kind of setup, let's say, if it is going to go back to, you know, when it creates a top week and then it goes back down, um, if it's just going to keep doing that for a week, and then let's say in a month or 2 months time, what I've seen the last week, I might see that again. And if I see the same thing, like let's say what I've seen last week, let's say in 2 or 3 months' time, if I did see that within the first 2 days, like Monday and Tuesday, I would definitely take a trade based on what I've seen previously, because I was thinking like that's not gonna keep happening, you know. Probably it's only 1 day or 2 days, but I've noticed that it happened a lot throughout the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
No, definitely.
don't know if it's just like sometimes it's just like a pattern that you keep seeing over and over.
That's kind of what trading is, though. You know, patterns and things like that. But it's also adapting. You know, because it's not ever gonna print the exact same way. It's not gonna always print the exact way that you want it to print. But you kind of just have to be a little bit situational and just have in the back of your mind, you know, like definitely what it is that you're looking for. But yeah, just got a couple of questions here. Is the magic keys useful? Can you explain a little bit? What's the advantage of using it? Yeah, I think the magic keys is brilliant. So it's like a small tool. You attach it to your MT4, MT5, and it's basically a risk management tool. So just a few of the settings on it, because I've got one here in front of me. So you can like input the amount of you can input your risk in terms of percent. You can input your risk in terms of lot size. You can there's an auto BE button which allows you to put your trade at break even. You can set partial TPs. You can close custom amounts of the position. So you can even set on the settings. Let's say that when you press close custom, or let's say you press close custom, it will close, let's say, 75% of your position, or it will close 80% of your position. You can also set up that as soon as a trade hits 10, 12, 15 pips, you know, it automatically takes 80%, 70% off that trade. You know, there's that. You can put your stop loss to entry. I think there's also the option of like a trailing stop. There's so much. I'd highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think if you're serious about trading and you know you're trading full time, then yeah, this is a must. This is a must. I found that when I got it, it did really help when it came to, you know, getting out of trade. Like there's a lot of times that I'm like, you know, I'm closing 50% of the position, and you know, you don't want to have to go in, type in, you know, the amount you want to close and then press it. So literally all I do is I press close half, and that's it. It closes half the position for me on my phone and on my platform on my computer. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. But if you want to earn yourself a free magic keys, then make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Can you get magic keys anywhere in the world? You'll have to check on the website. I think there's like a few countries that may not ship to, but most they do ship out to. But yeah, you're probably best checking out the website. So yeah, what would be really nice to see this 4-hour candle, you know, respecting this area, creating that clean traffic for us in the morning, and then yeah, that'd be really nice, because now we've got a nice clean candle on the 1 hour. We've got a couple of clean candles on the 30-minute time frame. So yeah, we'll see how the morning goes. But we have a few levels to come back up to if price is going to go bullish. So yeah, guys, I mean, like I said, the stream's not going to be on for that long tonight. So if you do have any more questions, if you do have any charts you want me to look at for, you know, like your weekly analysis, anything like that, now's the time to get those in, because we're probably not going to be here that much longer. Looks like gold's hit this area. It's kind of reacting to this area now. Failing to break above.
I'm not really like good with like gold at all. The only thing I do is I just like watch it. I just watch it. I just
Yeah.
can't figure it out really. It's difficult pair to trade.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think if you're a beginner, just stay away from it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Best thing to do. Okay, see you tomorrow. Yep, stream will be 8:30 GMT. Yeah, 8:30 GMT is when we stream in the mornings on Monday to Friday. I always say we, but it's me and obviously the private group, but obviously I'm the one streaming. So it looks like Euro JPY did react to this area, create a resistance. It's now coming down. So kind of, yeah, what I want to see. Ooh. What I want to see tomorrow, like I said, price is closing back below 123,800. Then I think EJ is gonna take a. I think we're gonna see some volume tomorrow coming down. Similar sort of thing with GJ too. You know, if the daily candle can break the low of the previous daily candle, like I was saying, I mean, it's already come up in the Asian session nearly to even fill this wick. Looks like we are reacting to this zone.
Yeah.
When open real account, I have a real account. I'm not really sure what you mean by that phrase or question, but yeah, I already have a real account.
I think maybe he's asking like, when should I open like a real account? Maybe.
Maybe we'll see. See if he see if that's
Looking
what
at
he
like for Forex Factory, there is like no major news tomorrow at all. So it's more like technical rather than fundamental.
Yeah.
Apart from the Australian news.
Unless something comes out overnight.
About the vaccine or Brexit.
Yeah. Not really anything. Nothing so far. I was just reading this. What they reckon.
I think clearly he's not happy about how the election vote went.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think that I personally think the election's not over yet. So until I hear who's officially been elected, then I'll.
But like, why is it taking that long?
I mean, they're still actually counting votes. I mean, they still have votes coming in. I'm pretty sure. And it has to be. Yeah, it has to be official. I think you have to get elected by the Supreme Court too. So I think that will be wrapped up probably by December. Oh yeah, he did mean when I should open a real account. When you feel ready. When you feel ready. There's no rush. There's no rush to open up a live account. If you go in with that attitude, then I think it's going to be quicker for you. But if you have an attitude of, you know, just after a few weeks of demo, you think you're ready to go, you know, real because you've seen you take a few winning trades. Live market is very different.
You know, the one thing I'm really struggling with now is like placing buy stops and sell stops. Um,
Yeah, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't
like
worry about. I wouldn't worry about if you're struggling with buy stops and sell stops because they're pretty difficult because in theory they're only supposed to be used when there's a massive surge of volume. So I wouldn't worry about that. I mean, I hardly even use them anymore. It's only when
yeah,
it's like a news event or something potentially like that, which is where I want to catch a push. But yeah, I won't worry about that too much, to be honest.
yeah.
You more or less end your weeks in profit, bro. Yes, yeah. I always look to be profitable at the end of the week. Um,
You
so
tired, bro?
yeah, man, I'm a little bit tired. Yeah, a little bit tired. Got to be up early too tomorrow. Um,
I've only I've only had like about 3 hours sleep
oof,
last night. Yeah.
were you working late or something?
Um, just with like admin work, and I just, when you get to a certain time, you just can't go to sleep. I just struggle to sleep. I went to
Yeah,
sleep for like an hour and a half, then I woke up, then I forced myself to sleep again for longer because I needed that rest, and then I just couldn't. Just
couldn't get to sleep.
nah, I struggle to sleep sometimes.
Yeah, I hear that,
That
man.
that's one thing. See, like you've mentioned something on that podcast that you've had, and you've mentioned about like being disciplined in your life. Like let's say about like example like going to the gym. If you always go to the gym, daily on a certain time, it also helps like on other tasks on your day. That's one thing I really need to start like to be more disciplined about. Is about like having rest, because
Mm,
going to sleep at a certain time and waking up at a certain time, that's like getting the day ready for you because you're waking up at a certain time and you can still do your tasks, rather
yes.
than going to sleep late and then waking up not as early, which is one thing that I really, really do need to work on.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I think having a routine is so key. That
Yep.
is a definite. That is a definite. Um, it's on 12th of December. Oh, okay. So I think they're gonna announce it on the 12th. So yeah, guys, we're not gonna be on here too much longer, but we'll see. See if anyone else has got any like final questions. So yeah. I was kind of so the whole idea was, if I came to the stream and price already starting to break down on GJ, then I would kind of anticipate, maybe that I could leave a trade running overnight. But yeah, I mean we'll see now. There is a book on discipline, self-discipline in 10 days. Helped me out a lot. Nice.
I'll have a look at that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's another book that I read once, but I mean, I can't tell you anything about it because I can't remember. But it's one of like the first books that I read about trading. It was, I think it's like the 10 Habitudes of Traders or something like that. That was quite good, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I think really you just gotta deep down what you've got to do, and you just got to do it. If it means applying discipline to your diet, your gym, your extra studies, whatever it is, you just got to do it. Just got to go and put in that hard work. Is that gold? It's reacting to this area. DJ. So yeah, like I said, guys, probably gonna call it a stream here soon. I know it's not been, we've only been on for like an hour or so, but yeah, it was only to kind of map out a few ideas, get chatting, and see if anybody wanted to discuss the week ahead. So yeah, so obviously tomorrow we'll be on the stream 8:30 GMT. So hopefully we can catch a nice move on GJ. But overall this week, I want to have a good week. Second week trading the 5 lots. Definitely feeling the little bit slightly higher lot size. Feeling that little bit more emotion side of trading. But you do have to kind of, you have to go through these hurdles. And as long as you stay disciplined, then it's fine. The minute you let the lot sizes get to your head, and the minute you're taking you're overtrading, or you're forcing trades, then that's the minute you need to take a step back. So for the moment, I'm doing fine. So see how we go. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Sergi. How old are you? I'm 21. 21 years old. So yeah, anyway guys, I'm gonna call it a stream there. We'll be back tomorrow morning for our normal stream London session. So yeah, I hope everyone has a good evening. Get some rest tonight. If it's a night time for you, it could be daytime for some. So yeah, get some rest. And we'll see you all tomorrow in the morning, 8:30 GMT. Let's have a good week. Salim, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, take care. Have a good night.
Thanks, mate. See you.
Thank you. See you later. Thank you.
Bye. And then, guys, on the YouTube, we'll see you all tomorrow. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Remember, we're still going to be doing that 1K giveaway for that free magic keys. So yeah, if you want to win yourself free magic keys, make sure you're subscribed, and then as soon as we hit 1K, I'll be announcing the winner. So yeah, thanks guys, we'll see you tomorrow.